Ah. Hello, everyone. Lately, this channel has been full of serious topics prompted by real-world stuff. You know, the garbage that makes it not fun to play games. And to all of your shame, those videos have performed better than usual. So maybe I can understand, I get the incentive to have people make all of those "the scandal just gets worse" style videos and make their whole channel about that kind of thing. You know, the sort of stuff that does absolutely nothing but get people all agitated and miserable about a hobby that has no fucking reason to exist other than helping people enjoy themselves. So let's talk about some pure gaming bliss for a change, such as the work of Kelvin Green. I mean, I honestly don't understand why Kelvin isn't far and away the best-selling LOTFP writer, and why he hasn't been poached by a much, much larger company that can throw $1 million at him so he can become their best-selling author. I mean, he's fucking brilliant. I mean, I compare Kelvin's works to the movies of Joe Dante and John Landis. Think Gremlins or An American Werewolf in London. See, Kelvin, he's got a light-hearted surface to his material, you know, that conceals a bunch of darkness underneath. His work is the perfect way to slide weird fantasy to normal people. Whereas, say, my personal work, it just appeals mainly to long-haired antisocials who live in caves and fuck their sisters. But only after they're dead, you know? Hi, fans. Love ya. Like a sister. Who's dead. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, but I mean, Kelvin's work, it's all a complete joy to read. It's all eminently playable. It's like perfection got turned into game product that should have brought appeal. I mean, the fact that the bulk of Kelvin's RPG work is on my label, nestled in between, you know, all the work by the nutcases and the freakazoids, that he hasn't had major backing and his name on top-of-the-line big company books, it's an indictment on the entire industry. I mean, Jesus. Tell me the industry I'm in couldn't identify talent if it was fucking them in the ass raw, without telling me that the industry I'm in couldn't identify talent if it was fucking them in the ass raw, you know? So, anyway, I'm going to talk about his books that are available over at the LOTFP US web store. We're doing a buy one, get one free sale through February 20, 2024, because I don't know when you'll be watching this video. So if you order during that time, say, 4 books, 2 of them will be free. You know, and all the details about it are available over at the web store. We'll link in that in the description. And so after I've convinced you all that Kelvin is just the bee's knees, you know that there's never been, and I really hope there will never again be as good a deal as this to get on board with it. You know, the sale applies to everything over on the web store, you know, including but not limited to all the Kelvin books. And all of the adventures I'm about to talk about are written for Lamentations of the Flame Princess, which means they're 100% compatible with whatever OSR game you play. OSE, Swords and Wizardry, Osric, whatever. Come right in. Let's see. First up is Green Messiah. And I mention this first because when I first read it, I lost my mind. It's like, oh, this should be a 1 million seller, so maybe I can get 10,000. But really, I mean, it's got everything. I mean, it's about a space elf that crashes to Earth and was raised by a kindly couple in rural England. It's like Superman mashed up with Men in Black, mashed up with Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's funny, it's menacing, it's mythic. It is the most charming chaos possible. And then, we have Winnie the Shit. It's the newest Kelvin work that I've published, and it is a gem. You know, it's pure joy to read on the referee end and pure terror on the player end. I mean, yeah, we took advantage of Winnie the Pooh entering the public domain, but this was something that was actually put together with care. And that he mashes it up with Isle of Dr. Moreau just creates this brilliant synthesis, and I cannot recommend this enough. Now, I know when you heard me comparing Kelvin with John Landis, you were skeptical. How can you compare them? Kelvin's never killed anyone. Well, A, I haven't asked, so who knows? And B. Kelvin wrote a book so cursed, so utterly infused with puns, so constant and painful about these bee people, that everyone who plays this adventure... No, that's not right. Anyone who reads the adventure... No, that's... Anyone who sees the book... No, anyone who's ever heard of... No, that's not even... Anyone in the same solar system as a copy of this book, they will die someday. I guarantee that. You know, it's like, oh no, John Landis killed 3 actors. How brutal. Last year, Kelvin killed everybody, and they don't even know it yet. So that's what I call the mastery of one's craft. This book really should have more buzz. And then we've got, oh, here's a good one. Strict time records must be kept. You know, this is a tricky one because it involves the player characters having a friend who invites them to his remote chateau and then poisons them and then makes a game out of them finding the antidote. I mean, I don't see how this works with an ongoing campaign, because any group of players that are suckers enough to find themselves in that situation, I don't think could ever survive any adventure, so how could you possibly get an ongoing campaign out of them? But, for a convention game, a one-shot, the start of a campaign, this thing is so perfect we should have called it Hennig. Terror in the Streets. In the US web store, we've got just the standalone hardcover, the fancy box with the bonus book and all the fiddly bits. You can get that on the EU web store. But anyway, the thrust of this book is basically there's a Jack the Ripper-ish kind of killer loose in Musketeer times Paris. And the implications go all the way to the top. You know, this is the good shit here. And you will absolutely love Christoph the Disgruntled Vampire, who's not the killer. I didn't just spoil the whole thing, so don't worry about that. I will group Forgive Us, Kelvin's first adventure for LOTFP, and Magic Eater, one of his latest, together because they both kind of have the same structure. The party delves into the criminal underworld and, well, theoretically unexpectedly, stumbles upon the work of cultists. And the campaign world will never be the same. And both contain, bonus short adventures at the end. So be on the lookout for those. And then there's the shortest work of Kelvin's available through the US web store currently. Uh, The Curious Conundrum of the Conflagrated Condottiero. Hopefully I said all those words correctly. It's a simple plot where the characters get caught up in a situation where a betrayed member of a military unit comes back from beyond the grave looking for revenge. It's a love letter to 80s style slasher movies. And then there's Adventure Anthology Blood. Kelvin didn't write this, but he did do new illustrations for all the adventures in here. These adventures were some of Lamentation's earliest publications, closer to classic fantasy than the brutal, bizarro shit we became known for later. You know, so it's a collection of those. Includes poster maps and stuff. These unfold bigger, but I'm working a remote control with my other hand, so I'm not going to open them for you. But anyway, this book, normal price is 60 euros, and for this sale, we've discounted it down to 25 euros. So it goes real well with the buy one, get one free offer. And you should pick it up when making the order because it really won't ever be this cheap again. So that's all the Kelvin stuff that's available on the US web store. And all the books covered here and some more that we don't have copies of in the US web store, they are available in PDF at our drive-through web store. And link to that is in the description as well. So there. I've finally done my real job in trying to get you fuckers to buy some books. But I do have a job for all of you who have read, or preferably have run or played one of Kelvin's adventures. I mean, I'm selling these books, so there's no reason that anyone unfamiliar should believe a word I say about them. I'm biased. But you all that bought the books, you can testify. You can let people know how much of a genius he is, and the fact that you've put your money down for them gives you all of the authority in this manner, or in this matter. Let someone be built up by the internet instead of the usual tearing down. And if anyone has anything bad to say about Kelvin in the comments, I mean, obviously, they're just a troll who's never read any Kelvin book, hasn't read a Kelvin book before. You know, that's the way it is.